up, everyone, and welcome to the Quick Diz Takes podcast. What seems to be these days monthly podcast about Walt Disney World and everything beyond. And we're here. We're going to discuss today Johnny's recent trip to Disney World, which he just got back from not too long ago. We meant to do this one a little earlier. We tried last weekend, and we were having technical difficulties, and Johnny was headed up out of state, so we had to wait another week. So here we are now on August 16th, 2020. So without further ado, let's discuss. So we'll start with Johnny. What was it like flying to Orlando from New England?
Okay. Flying was not horrible. It was the thing we had the most nerves about because of we didn't know. Obviously their protocols are not as strict as Disney, we thought. But we flew Southwest, which still has the open seat in the middle, basically. But it's just, whatever, they only fill it so many. So we were supposed to only have like 50 people on our flight, which would have been nice, but they ended up, the airport was very empty. That was good. Everybody's wearing masks. Everybody was following rules. So we felt very good about that until about an hour before our flight, they canceled our flight. We got an email. So they booked us on like a 2 p.m. flight. So we would have been stuck in the airport for like 6 hours. So we quickly jumped on the app. We got on like an 11 a.m., 10:30 a.m., whatever it was, but with the layover. So we ended up getting down to Disney at about 2:30, 3 o'clock. The flight was obviously, we were a little more nervous on that flight because it ended up being more full than the initial, because everybody pretty much tried to jump and rebook onto that one. But it wasn't bad. Everybody kept their, everybody, at least up in in Rhode Island, everybody was following the mask thing pretty good. So it worked. We just kept the masks on the whole time. I didn't even eat or drink anything on the flight. They didn't give out any food. They gave out water and chips, whatever, but whatever. So that was good. So everything went smooth to get down to Florida. And again, with the airport was the only thing we were nervous about. And the Orlando airport was really empty too. So there was no issues down there with getting bags and any of that stuff.
How about Southwestern Airlines loading procedure? Is it different now? And it's correct usually, so I'm assuming they must.
Yeah, it's usually they have that line where 1, 2, 3, whatever it is, whatever it was. They were only loading 10 people at a time.
Oh wow!
So it just took instead of the usual, whatever it is, half hour before they start loading, it was like 45 minutes. But it went. They didn't touch your boarding pass. You scanned everything, so it was easy.
Totally friendly.
Yeah, everybody's really good about it. There was none of the, you see the issues of people yelling about masks. We didn't see the whole week or whatever 5 days we were there. There was no mask freak out things from anybody, so that was a non-issue.
Excuse me. How about so when you get down there, I know you took an Uber.
We ended up taking a car from Sarah.
Not an Uber, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was like an Uber. It was a guy. It was the same as an Uber, basically, which was good. Which was probably better than Magical Express in the sense of we didn't have to. The Magical Express isn't getting bags. You're getting your own bags anyway. But there was none of that. We didn't have to wait. We were literally we were on our resort in 25 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. It was really quick.
Now,
so there was no issue.
Well, you took the Magical Express back to the airport, though, right?
We took it back to the airport.
What was that like? Much
a
lot of people on there? Or?
No, they picked us up at the Contemporary, and there was maybe 10 people waiting, and then we went and we did one stop at the Grand Floridian, and maybe 6 people got on, and then we were right to the airport, which I didn't think they were going to go to another resort, but I guess they knew it was only a handful of people, but it was.
And I believe you're only allowed 25 max on that thing. I heard on one of the channels, and I'm assuming they make you sit at least space you out, at least a row apart or something.
Well,
right?
the Magical Express was more like you just sat where you wanted, but people spaced out themselves.
Yeah, most people are on board.
Like on the regular bus transportation, yeah, you had to wait till the driver told you which number, whatever the seats were labeled in all numbers. They told you which number to sit in.
All right. And while we're on the topic, probably the most boring topic of the trip, which is the transportation, let's answer the final question. What was any other, like the buses on property, monorail, Skyliner, any of that stuff, whatever ones you did, what were they like? What was
well, the buses,
the
only time the bus was at all crowded, I guess you would say, even though it wasn't crowded, was leaving a park. And going to Hollywood Studios was the only time it was crowded. There was always a line at the bus station for Hollywood Studios. But again, it was only like 20, 25 people. And the way they had it spread out and the plexiglass dividers, you had space in between everybody, and everybody just kind of, everybody was, looking at their phones and stuff. So nobody was even bothering with anybody. But it was, they definitely seemed to, what was it? Because the day we went to Hollywood Studios, we went to try to, to get, we wanted to get there for opening to obviously get the boarding pass.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to wait, even for an hour after park open, there would be no line of any kind at your resort. But the buses, they for every, because the day we went to Epcot, we were waiting 10, 15 minutes for the bus, and there was probably at least 4 to 5 buses just for Hollywood Studios. So they were really running the buses for that. The only other thing we took was the monorail, which was basically it was just one family to a car. At one point, they did put a single rider in with us that just sat opposite, but other than that, it was just you had your own car to yourself. And then they had a piece of, it wasn't plexiglass, but it was some kind of like fabric in between, you and like the other little car, the little pod next to you.
Yeah.
But as long as we sat against the wall, so we weren't even, because there was space all around, but we, just to be safe. But again, there was nobody, you really only riding the monorail. We only rode the monorail to go to Polynesian because we had breakfast there one morning. So you're only riding the monorail to really go to the other resorts, or if you were just coming in from the Magic Kingdom parking. Other than that,
yeah,
they didn't have the Epcot line open, so there was not a lot of people. And then,
of course, excuse me, my voice is of course tonight. And of course, for anyone who doesn't know, Johnny, the contemporary, so
yeah, we walked to the Magic Kingdom every time we went there, so that was really nice. Not even have to worry, and it was, whatever, 5-minute walk.
Incredibly convenient,
Yeah.
A lot of times when I stay at other resorts, I'll have Ubers drop me off right at the contemporary, and I'll just walk over. I like that. Walk's easy.
Yeah, it was definitely worth it because you got they had the temperature screening set about halfway to your walk to there, and then they had, you had your own little security thing right there, so there's never any line there, so it was quick to get through.
Yeah, you can't beat that.
No.
So
then, security was very easier. All you had to do was take out, if you had battery chargers, an umbrella, or metal reusable water bottles, you just take those out, put them in the bucket, and then you just walk through with your bag and everything. And then they wouldn't go through your bag, they'd kind of feel the bottom of it, and then if you had anything inside, you'd open it. So even if it was just like going to Hollywood Studios, that it was super quick as opposed to normal or waiting in any type of line.
I would
for
imagine
if you're
the crowds were low for the most part. I mean, obviously lower than you've ever seen probably a normal trip.
yeah, just yeah, just Hollywood Studios, and it was really only Toy Story Land and Galaxy's Edge had any type of crowd.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I mean, if you like, as soon as it got past lunchtime, even that, the crowd went way down. I mean, even in Galaxy's Edge, I've got pictures of, I took a couple of pictures of the Falcon, and there was nobody standing in front of it. Except, well, the line for, that was in the middle of the day with the line, but by like dinner time, we went in there because we had a, Bogus Cantina reservation, and there was nobody in front of the Falcon at all.
Did you go on the Falcon ride? Did you ride the Falcon?
You know, yeah.
So how was
it? Was
just you and Sarah?
It was just me and Sarah, so we both got to, you know, you got to be whatever you wanted. So we were both pilots. Yeah. So.
And how long would you say you waited?
I mean, it probably said 35 minutes, and it was probably 20 minutes. It was kind of like when we had gone on it, there was the line, obviously, but you didn't stop. It was basically just moving from, you were moving the whole time, but it was just moving from the please wait here line to the next line. So
yeah.
There was no stopping really in that one.
They built that thing loads fast. I was impressed at how fast we went through, even when we went and Disney event. It was busy, and we were still.
I mean, I would say wait times. Oh yeah, because the line came all the way out a little bit past the entrance when we got into it, and it just didn't, you know, it was just a length of walking it. I mean, as far as wait times in general, they definitely were. They would put a higher number than they were for sure. I mean,
typical.
Like, and in some cases it was way more. Like Jungle Cruise said 15 minutes, and there was a boat waiting at the dock for us, and it was 2 people in front of us and us, so there's 4 of us on the boat, and it was a walk on.
How do they load the Jungle boats? Is it like
basically you just sit on the outside? You don't.
How many do they put? A lot of people on a boat? It's a lot.
No, I mean, it was only 4 of us on the boat, and then there was like a shower curtain type thing behind the skipper. But I want to say maybe they'd load 10 people on it at the most, if you were like a group. But I don't know, because nobody was in line, so I don't even know what it looked like.
So what would you say, like, out of all the parks and everything, you went to each park one day, right?
We went to yes, and we went to Epcot the first night for a few hours, and we went to Magic Kingdom a few hours our last morning.
What would you say? All right, so what would you say was Magic Kingdom still probably the most hectic, or was it Hollywood Studios now?
Oh, Hollywood Studios definitely was. But even if you want to say hectic, I mean, I'm talking about relative to the other. Yeah.
Before. What was
that was the most crowded, I would say. I mean, but then I'm trying to think. We got there when it opened, so we were in the park, we were in the park, and it didn't open till 10, but we got there at 9:30, and we jumped right in line for. We figured we'd just get in line for Runaway Railway, and we would be able to book our try to get a boarding pass while we were in line. But it ended up they opened the line up, and we were off the ride by like 9:57. So we got to ride that before the park even opened, and then we just jumped to the side and got like a boarding pass real quick. So and then that was the only that was the only part where there was crowds. Was everybody just sits or stands to try to get the boarding pass, and then once that happened, everybody just started moving. But any park, if you waited, as soon as 2-3 o'clock rolled around, people left, and it was
Yeah, I've been seeing that on vlogs. For some reason, it's like later in the day, people are just not hanging out.
Yeah, like that point where like ABC commissary is, there was nobody. It was just us walking down that way. Um, even because we had a 7:30 Oga's Cantina reservation, and just to walk at that point, Galaxy's Edge was empty. So we actually left after the park closed, and yeah, nobody was obviously nobody was in the park then, but it was weird. It was it was good, but it was just weird to see something that empty.
It's a unique experience.
Yeah, I mean, I've never like usually in front of Pirates or like where like down in Epcot by where the Seas with Nemo and like the tangled bathrooms where all the carriages are. There was 2-3 carriages. So being like a family that brings carriages with the kids, seeing those sections where there's you throw your carriage is nothing.
That's cool. I mean, it's not cool because it's stuff going on right now, but
yeah,
it's interesting, right?
Yeah, like World Showcase again was we just just took our time, strolled through there. That was even with the festival and the food booths. I mean, you wouldn't wait more than one person in front of you.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, and then the only line, if you want to call it, was to get into the like the festival center where they had some booths. That was probably where the most people were. The whole day was inside there. That was the biggest crowd we probably saw. But they spaced the tables out, so you just got your food and went to a table by yourself. And then as soon as you got off a table, the cast member would walk right over and start and wipe it right down. So they were super safe with all that. I mean, you'd walk by and you'd see cast members cleaning a wall or pillars where people would lean up against as they're waiting for something. There was no like, you wouldn't even think about anything with
So what was the longest thing you waited for? Would you say? And roughly how long would you say you waited for it?
Geez, maybe the longest thing, maybe a rock and roller coaster, maybe 20 minutes, maybe 25 minutes.
That's anywhere the whole time? That was
I mean, yeah. I want to say, I'm trying to think. I know there was one ride. I want to say it was that. I think it maybe was posted 30 minutes and we waited 30 minutes. That might have been the only one that was correct. But like I said, most things were definitely overboard. Even, I mean, your typical things. I mean, Spaceship Earth and Journey into Imagination and Living with the Land. Those are all still those are the walk-on. But things were posted. Tower of Terror, I think, was posted 20 minutes. It was basically you walked the length of the queue and you were on. Same thing with Haunted Mansion and Pirates. Your wait time was walking the queue, so which obviously they had to keep it spaced out to keep the keep your social distance, the markers and everything. But it was even Seven Dwarfs Mine Train was quick.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So Pirates was like like one group in the front, one group in the back or something?
Yeah, front seat, back seat. Yeah. I mean, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train was usually they'd load it would be like every other car they'd put you in, but there was a group of 8 before us, so they put that group of 8 and then they spaced it out where we sat in the last. So they like everything was like that. I'm just trying to think of other like I think Haunted Mansion they either skipped 1 or 2 Doom buggies in between everybody. Like your Everest and your Dinosaur was, Everest was every front car. Dinosaur was the first and last. Basically, the only thing I think they loaded was like a Dumbo or a Triceratops spin. They would load everyone, but you're spaced out enough. Other than that, it was pretty much they'd skip everything. Like the
so bad then.
And then the Safari, they loaded every seat, but they had
Glass.
a
Yeah, I've seen
clear
that.
thing between everybody, and yeah,
Well, that's good.
yeah, it was very safe.
Hard to imagine them getting like a how much like growing much more capacity though until this is over with like those kind of rules in place. Like right now, like it's almost tempting to think about going
Yeah,
because it sucks because of COVID, but it's tempting because of the unique experience. I mean, I've been watching Tim Tracker recently, and he's able to like just explore the parks, like every little mundane detail and things that he would never get to do normally because he was saying that there's no one trying to get by or anything, so he could just stop and
yeah, yeah,
look at
yeah.
things, and that's
Even
kind
like
of cool.
I mean even like the line for Starbucks in the morning wasn't even bad.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Not that I waited in it, but I mean that's usually a very long line at the beginning of the day. And
The only
then
time I can remember going there, we went in 2015. We went, and for some reason, January that year, it was dead, so dead in those parks. And now it's like I haven't had that experience since then. Like another 6, 7 times that I've gone since then, um, and it's like kind of disappointing. But I mean, obviously Disney's a popular thing right now, and channels like ours don't help the situation any. But I bet you when this COVID thing's over, hopefully sooner than later, or whatever, it's either here nor there, it's gonna be crazy in those parks again. So it's almost like, well, unless the economy hurts people that bad where they can't bounce back, I don't know, but I got a feeling.
yeah, I think as soon as like because then people obviously people going to Florida looking at the numbers and how that high their positivity numbers were, so I'm sure like that, like you just see like thousands of what, because when we went it was 10,000 people a day were testing positive, or that was
The numbers, yeah,
whatever
the
number
numbers
they
are
were
so
releasing,
tough,
but you just see that number, so it's like
yeah.
you get a little nervous.
It depends how many people have, what kind of attitude people have, though. Because a lot of people look at those numbers and they're like, well, those numbers have just always been the numbers in Florida. We just didn't know because we weren't testing as much.
Yeah,
They're high. Most of those numbers are from Southern Florida, not Central Florida. Blah, blah,
yeah,
blah.
yeah. That's
So
yeah.
there's a lot goes on there.
But I mean, if you had the opportunity to drive and not even worry about a flight,
Yeah.
then I
And the parks look safe to me. Like just, I mean, I'm only one.
yeah. I mean, basically,
you don't go near anybody.
no, you have so much space where you have to choose to go next to somebody. Like there's, and then everybody, like they're very good, like and they're very polite and good about if somebody had a mask below their nose or a little kid didn't have a mask on, they're polite about it. There was no
Were there a lot of little kids without masks?
no, most kids
Some kids can't do it.
were good about it. But everybody was really good about the masks. I mean, the mask would definitely, it was an annoyance to wear, but at points you just kind of, as long as it wasn't sweltering hot, you'd kind of just forget about it. It would be there. And the only time I noticed it was if you're, because with the glasses they'd fog up. I mean, and you had to move it. But other than that, like it wasn't hot. Like the middle of the day to be hot, but I mean, you could wear. I had one of those neck gaiters, so if you wet the neck gaiter down and wear it on your neck, you can kind of just lift your mask and wipe your face or whatever to cool down. So yeah, there was ways around it. And then we took advantage of those relaxation zones, which was you sat in there for 10-15 minutes and you were good.
Plus, when you eat,
yeah. Yeah, the only way that was
when I'm on the ride, I would imagine a little bit weird. I don't know. That would be my guess.
It wasn't. The only time my mask actually moved was on Space Mountain, was I think where it moved the most. But other than that, it stayed on.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna. The only thing with it was just weird. How you're used to walking around World Showcase and drinking and eating, but you just kind of just stepped to the side and sat. Yeah. And instead of walking with your drink, you sat with your drink.
Yeah, that's a little different because
it helped that the festival was going on because you'd always get something to eat, so you'd sit down and eat and drink. But
I watched a few videos in the festivals. It looked like it wasn't so bad.
No, it really was. I mean, I have no complaints about it at all. Even with the mask, it was It wasn't. It was good.
Now we're thinking about going, like, because I figure this is going to be like this for enough time that if I went, say, in January,
Well,
it would probably still be going that, with these protocols and everything.
yeah. I know. Well, with the extensions of our passes, they're extended till December 29th. So I would say a week
I was
after.
thinking about it.
A week after we got back, we just booked another vacation. So we're actually going between Christmas and New. We're going between Christmas and New Year's. We just kind of talked about it, and then we looked and we got a price, and it was like, okay, we just kind of booked it.
Where are you staying?
We're staying at Pop. We whatever the cheapest one was, we're staying there.
That's what I was going to do.
We figured, Skyliner and everything, and then because all we have to do is buy the kids tickets. Because we ended up with the canceled flights, they ended up gave us $600 credit. So it's like, well, everything's falling into place, so let's just book it, and we just kind of spur of the moment just did it. So
yeah,
if it who knows what's going to happen? If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's just, and I ended up having the week off already from work, so
yeah. I was looking at that time period with all the stuff going on with my health and stuff. I had to.
Yeah.
I don't have much time to use until the beginning of next year now, and I went the other day, and by the way, my heart functionality is from 8%. Was at 8% when all this began. It is now at 15%, so it's almost doubled, and I think it's going to continue. So
good.
That's good news. But I do they do want to we'll try again. We are going to go with a defibrillator for a while, so I don't have to wear a vest. So in a couple weeks, I gotta go do that. So that, and I don't know if I mentioned on the channel, but obviously Johnny, but we had to put a dog Remy down right around the time I went to the hospital. So that sucked, and but we decided to go to get another dog, so we're getting him next weekend, and so that might impede any kind of travel plans anytime soon too. So, although according to the doctor, once the defibrillators in, which that's just an outpatient thing, it's like you basically, I did it a couple weeks ago. I did a catheterization where they basically put a hole in your artery and they put a camera down to your heart. I don't know if you ever heard of that, but I had to do that. And that was in and out. It's kind of the same idea. They put a hole in a very small incision and they just connect wires to your heart. And it just stays there as a precautionary thing, basically. Mm-hmm. So, that wouldn't slow me down too much, and I think after that, I'll kind of be back to normal. As far as I feel fine, but anyway, getting on track here, but that's going to be probably impede any 2020 Disney trips. Is basically what I was getting at there.
Yeah.
As much as I love to go around Christmas.
Yeah, that was part of the reason we figured. I don't ever plan on going around Christmas, and we figured,
this would be the time to do it, though.
Everything with the lighter crowds. I don't know, I
can't imagine. I would imagine Christmas is going to be awesome this year for that.
I'm sure they're going to cancel the parties.
Away.
Yeah.
And COVID,
Yeah, I'd just like to see the parks decorated. That's something.
And the flights down there might be a little tricky for the airlines going through some stuff right now and getting worse and worse, especially when they have to report their losses in October, because October is the time when they change over their budgets and stuff.
Yeah, because they changed our, before we even got to the before our trip, they changed our flights twice. So who knows?
That could be a thing. Who knows?
We already have everything booked again, so they might change them again. Who knows? But
you never know.
Whatever.
But if you can stick that out. If it ends up being an annoyance for that one day like it was your last trip, even then if you can stick it out, you get down there.
Yeah, we have it planned so we're doing nothing our travel day. We're doing nothing either of our travel days. The only park days are in the middle. So
reservation days screw you, don't they?
What's that?
The reservation thing kind of sucks a little bit though.
Yeah.
You do what you want. Which is
because originally, we were supposed to get down there at what time? 10 o'clock, 10:30. So we're gonna have a bunch of time. We're going to do Epcot until our dinner reservation. We had dinner at Old Key West, and then kind of do whatever we could go back to Epcot if we wanted after, but we got there and just went right to our reservations, and we only had like 2 hours in Epcot. But whatever, it is whatever. Whatever.
It was fine, I'm sure.
It worked out. I mean, we get to Epcot, we get to, with the lines, we get to ride most of the rides, and then we just kind of focused on the few we didn't the full day and just hung around in World Showcase and the festival stuff. So
I wonder if this is going to be the beginning of the end for Fast Pass now, because I've heard a lot of people. Like, one thing that positive that's come out of this, I've heard a lot of vloggers and stuff be like, with no Fast Pass, everything's moving along. Now, granted, crowds are lower, so that's also going to come into play. But let's face it, that when you're in line, when the rare occasion, I think it's a rare occasion really, when anyone gets into a standby line, it's like 45 minutes or something like that. When you are in one of those lines, when you get towards the front, you see how much slower the Fast Pass makes the line go when they're they're letting whatever the numbers of that,
15 people to 3 or whatever it is.
Whatever. It's a ratio that does not favor you if you're in the standby. I know that, but
no, I think this is their excuse to probably do like the Disneyland thing. You pay, they're gonna need to make up money anyway, so they're probably.
I don't really have a gripe with that as long as like it stays within somewhat reason. Because like people complain about certain things at Disney, like this, that, it's expensive, and it's all those. I get it. It's not it's not a necessity, and I don't think you should price people out per se, but like if you're going down there and you're planning a trip, and you can spend whatever they're going to charge for those, if they do the Max Pass, I get it. Like, it's worth it. It's a win-win, because if you don't buy it, you're still going to benefit from shorter wait times. I guess the only thing is you don't get three Fast Passes a day. But even those now, like with the system the way it is, it's like you're battling for anything decent.
Yeah, right. With the tiers and stuff, so yeah.
So I think like e-ticket attractions, in my opinion, they should just do the reservation system for those. Like, people complain about, I've heard people complain about the Ride the Resistance process, but I think that process is great. My own personal opinion.
Works. It's worked fine.
I haven't had a problem with it. Maybe I just had a good experience. I don't know. You do have to be prepared. Like, you should do a little homework before you use it. Once you use it, experience it once, and the rest of your trip, if you go again, it's the same spiel every time. It's a little different right now, but you know what I mean, when the park's actually regularly operating. Yeah,
and it's nice, especially for that one, it's nice that they added the second reservation, so you don't have to get there at park opening.
Like Seven Dwarfs used it.
Yeah.
Of course, I think Disney, there is elements of Disney wanting people to be in queues to kind of spread, especially at the Magic Kingdom, I guess.
Yeah.
But that wait time's obnoxious. And that ride is so short. I don't even want to get into that. I made a video about that.
Yeah.
People just love it, and that's fine. But man, I cannot envision myself waiting any more than a Fast Pass wait for that ride.
Oh yeah. I've never waited in the line. This trip walking through the queue was the first time I actually saw the real queue. So
I waited in line for it one time. 2015 trip, like I was telling you, I was dead, and it was like the same idea. It was like 15 minutes, so it didn't matter. I was like, we went there at rope drop and just walked. It was nothing.
Yeah,
but other than that,
and then we waited. Peter Pan's always crazy. We waited, I think 7 minutes.
That's another one I would never wait.
And I had never seen the queue where they didn't have the interactive stuff on, obviously, but I had never even seen the bedroom on any of that stuff. So, but it was 7 minutes.
It's actually nice now, but it's still way too long.
Yeah, for what that ride is, yes, definitely. The shortness of it.
You need to redo it.
But
a little bit anyway. But anyway, yeah. So all right, well, that's pretty interesting, and it's good to hear that it's still magical, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think I would have taken kids, at least at that point, my first time being there. But now, since being it, I felt safe enough, and how everything's going, that's taking the kids the next time. But
by next time you're gonna have even more of an understanding of how it's even going as far as if they have any problems or anything. I mean, you're talking 3-4 months away.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, at least be a little cooler. So even there shouldn't be any, that many complaints about masks, and that you're not going
I like to go in the winter.
The humidities and the humidity and all that stuff. So, but yeah.
I mean, I said not that long ago, I think I said it on the show that if I had to wear a mask, I'm not going. But now I've changed. I've already kind of like thought it through and was like, well, maybe I'll go. It's just
Yeah. I mean, as long as you plan your day out to the extent of, well, you're probably going to eat at more of a sit-down restaurant, at least, so you can get the air conditioning, take the mask off. You can kind of plan around where the relaxation zones are. It's
some people don't like the idea of the relaxation zone because they think it's like asking for trouble or whatever because you're taking your mask off. But I mean, how do you not have? You have to have them.
Yeah.
You just need. I mean, I don't know. I went to rent them the other day. Rent them is a outlet we have in this region of the country, and like for the first time, and it's a long shopping experience. For example, when you're just wearing masks from one store to the next, it's outside. Right now it's the middle of summer, so I can see it being a little bit like you need a break when you go around those parks. Parks are big.
Yeah, I mean the only I think we went in pretty much all of them except we went in all of them except there was whatever the one near Pirates was outside, so we didn't go to that one. But it was very spaced out in those, except the only one I would say was you were more close to people was the one that's in like the Pete Silly sideshow thing where the character meet and greet is in that tent. There was probably the most people in that. But I mean, other than that, like in in Launch Bay, there was not that many people in, but where they put a big circle, a big stamp on the ground, a big red circle, and the way it's spaced out, even if it was a lot of people in there, or the max amount of people, you're well spaced out in there. I mean, for the most part, you were very spaced out in that, except in the Pete Silly sideshow one, you kind of were closer. But other than that, they had people counting how many. You'd have to wait in line if you wanted to go in if there was that capacity. So they're doing a very good job with keeping track of where people are.
Now, would you say is the Launch Bay, is that like completely gutted now for the most part? It's just a zone now. It's just those Star Wars relics in there and stuff, or I mean, I know that for the meet and greets, but
yeah, it's just all the the props and stuff are still there, and just the store's not open, so you don't have to worry about that.
Did you guys get on Slinky Dog?
Yeah, that wasn't even. That was like a 20-minute wait, maybe. That wasn't bad. Yeah, finally gets. I mean, we basically did.
Not a bad ride.
We did everything in.
Oh, that's what I want to ask.
We did everything at Hollywood Studios. We did everything at Animal Kingdom. We did everything except Mission Space at Epcot, because I wasn't going in there.
Nobody's a fan of that ride.
And then our Magic Kingdom day, I mean, we had the opportunity probably to do everything, but we just kind of went at our own pace. And if a ride said 10 minutes, all right, we'll just get in the line. We just kind of did that last day. That was our last day, so we kind of just did it at our own pace.
How was Mickey and Minnie's in person?
It was really good.
Yeah,
it was
really good.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I don't know. Between watching it the handful to 10 times, whatever it is, I've watched it. I mean, you feel it's bigger in person, and it's much more like that vibrant color is way bigger. And then that last, I'm sure most people have been on or seen it, that last scene, the way it changes from one to another, since I knew it was coming, you can kind of look to see like what turns into what. That was really neat to see, like this turns into a tree or whatever it turns. So yeah, it was better than I thought it was going to be, but it was really cool.
I look forward to checking that out.
Yeah. Yeah, that was.
Those are any other things that are new going to open with all this, the way the construction's getting slowed down for a lot of stuff and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, Ratatouille should have been open, but we.
Yeah, that's supposed to be open by now, right?
I saw this. We saw the sign for it, but
They got to be getting close.
yeah.
I think they continued construction now. I believe. I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, I don't know. And then, I mean, seeing just the progress since January of Tron definitely was a lot more stuff there.
Yeah, see, they don't have any pressure with Tron because
No.
they'll get. They probably figure they're going to have that open in time for the 15th.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been cool to. I mean, I wish they were a little further along to see like the wave looking things, but.
Like, I don't know what the plan is, or was, I should say. But if you ask me, they were going to start doing 50th anniversary stuff January originally, I think, and
Probably.
just okay for all it's worth. But they're trying. It almost seems like they're trying to play it off like they originally just. Maybe I'm wrong, but like they were originally just going to start it in October that way. But I know Disney. Going by things in the past, there's almost no way you're going to tell me they weren't going to put on that right on 2021.
Yeah, they were going to melt.
Now they realize they have to take time, and now they're not going to anticipate your birth at least anytime soon, which is like crazy to me.
Yeah,
it's just clunky. It really is. I love it, but it's just so clunky, and it just needs a little love.
Yeah, but they definitely need to move along in Epcot because it was.
Yeah, tell me about
the whole
it.
construction thing was very like. I don't know. It's just annoying. You can only go. You have to go to the land, or you have to go.
Yeah.
To where Test Track is it's like. Just
making.
Yeah, it was. I mean. So yeah, it just makes it more walking, which is whatever. But
I wouldn't even like. We were talking about. I was saying earlier, we were talking about maybe going to Disney, and we threw it around for a little while. I was like, oh, maybe if I don't, if I can't return to work till like 3 or 4 weeks into September or October, maybe we'll just sneak down there. And we were like, you know what? I don't even think I would do an Epcot day if I brought Aria. If it was just her and I would. If I brought my daughter, I probably wouldn't do it because the way the construction is right now. Once we go on like the 4 major rides, she's done there, and like day, so why waste it?
Yeah, I would say unless you're gonna spend time doing the festival booths and seeing all that.
I don't have the annual pass right now; it's expired, so
you can make a full day. But yeah, I mean, we could have. You could ride everything before lunch.
Yeah. So they definitely Ratatouille, Guardians of the Galaxy, much welcome additions to that park, as we said before. They got a lot of work to do in that park. And they've canceled some of the cool ideas they had in that blue concept art, or the announcements they made at D23 are been scrapped, which is unfortunate. And this is not helping any.
No.
Still, ways they getting the Guardians roller coaster, which will probably be a big addition. And Ratatouille would be good. Decent dark ride, looks like I've seen on videos. And I don't know though, Mission Space. I had a feeling its days were numbered, but now they're building the space restaurant. I think myself, this thing's not going anywhere, I guess.
Well, it's just a section of the park I won't go to, so.
I think it's the one to ride. I mean, I'll go there for Test Track and I'll go there for Guardians. I will not be going there for Mission Space.
No.
I mean, I go on the green. I've been on the green one. It's just boring.
Yeah, I'm all set.
Green one's boring and the orange one's too fast. It's like there's no like happy medium for people like me. But oh well. Anyway, I guess that about wraps up this show. We're running out of time anyway, and we covered all the bases. And it's good to hear that at least Disney's still magical and fun, even with pandemics going around.
Yeah, I mean, I would say overall as far as what we experienced, I would say the cast members are even better than they normally are. Just seems like they go out.
Everyone's got to be on their toes right now.
They're going out of their way just to. I mean,
yeah. You need every guest.
They're just
they can
so much.
possibly get their hands on right now.
Yeah.
hard. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know the economics behind it. I can't imagine they're making much money or any at all with the way this is they're running this thing right now. But who knows?
no,
I mean,
no.
I heard that they're allowing 30%, and they're roughly at about 10 to 15% a day.
Yeah,
Just
probably.
think about that. It's crazy. I
Yeah,
would guess on a normal day that you would go like, say, like this past January, for example. It must be. I don't mean they don't go to capacity, but they must be putting. They must be in the 70% area. I would guess.
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. Yeah, because I know they even while we were there, they had already had changed some of the opening dates on the hotels, but, and I don't even remember
And
which
their
one.
movies, like just even the parks, their movies, all that stuff, like not getting theater releases or getting pushed back. Getting Mulan on Disney Plus, charging $30 for that though.
Yeah,
That's a good idea though, because you pay the $30, which you would have paid if you went to the movies with your family anyway, and you get to keep it. You get to stream it indefinitely. You know, it's not a rental, so that's good.
yeah,
Should just do that with everything right now. They probably do all right with that.
yeah. I'm sure Mulan will be the test, and then they'll see. Because I mean, they still got the what is it, the Black Widow movie? I mean, yeah, they'll see.
I don't know. I don't know if they would do that on the streaming service.
I don't know.
I'm dying to see that. Coming from the guy who like a year ago said he didn't like any of the Marvel stuff. And then
right.
COVID comes, I binge watch everything, and I'm like, oh, I can't wait for the Black Widow movie. I binge watched all the Marvel stuff, and it was good. Like I actually liked it. But
yeah, I still got to do that.
you get wrapped up if you do it in the right order. You get wrapped up quick because it ties together. They're so detailed in how they tie it all together.
Yeah, because I've seen the beginning of it and I've seen the end of it, so I got to watch all the middle.
And the Black Widow looked good. I mean, I'm dying to see Jungle Cruise. They've already announced they're gonna.
Yeah, that's
that's gonna be next summer.
Yeah.
So they must really think that's gonna be like it's gonna take in some money. Well, the Rock thing, so there's that.
Yeah, I think they're banking on a couple movies out of that, at least.
Mulan to me was probably gonna be successful, but like I would guess like Dumbo, like lukewarm. I don't. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know. I don't know how it wasn't like insanely popular.
No.
It was popular. No Mushu. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they might have been banking more. I mean, obviously, it'll do fine here, but I think they might be banking more on overseas numbers for that one too.
Yeah, well, yeah. Jungle Cruise looks pretty good.
Yeah. Definitely the trailers made me much more interested in it.
You know, as soon as I seen the trailers, I was like, this actually might not be a bad. I mean, you can't go wrong with The Rock. Watch anything with that guy in it right now. Pretty much the whole country's feeling on him. So
yeah.
Another reason why they're probably gonna wait. His Jumanji movies are awesome. Was that, in my opinion? And
I didn't see him.
they're good. I think you'd like them. They're funny. But if you had Prime, I think at least one of them's free right now.
Yeah. Well, his tequila's good. I tried his tequila at La Cava, so
I didn't know he had it. But he just bought the XFL.
Yeah. He's doing quite well for himself.
That league can't get the break. That league I think was going to get the momentum it needed this year. And I mean, not to say it was going to go crazy, but it was going to exist. And COVID comes, it just can't get the break. I was watching it every weekend.
Yeah, he waited like 1 year too long. I think if he started it last year, it would have been okay.
Yeah, well, he's trying to keep us, trying to keep WWE afloat too. So, sure, this is not helping them any. It's not helping any of that stuff any.
No.
They got baseball, basketball, and hockey going right now. I can't even watch baseball like the way they're doing it right now. Plus, the Red Sox are horrible. But I'm enjoying hockey, but it's still weird without the fans.
Yeah. I've seen some basketball. It's I mean, it's fine, but it's just it is weird. But
and of course, the Big Ten canceled their season, so my college football dreams are. And Buckeyes was the best team they've had in like 50 years this year, of course.
Yeah, canceled.
There goes that. It's kind of annoying, but I get it. I do get it.
Yeah.
Celtics are pretty good.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah, whatever. Yeah, I mean, then that's more proof how well Disney is doing with that. Like, how that bubble works.
Yeah.
None of them are positive, and I mean, yeah,
So far, so good.
we get to see
Baseball had some problems at first, but looks like it's simmering down a little bit.
yeah, we get to see the fence around the Grand Floridian, and some buses.
Yeah,
Some
it's
tents.
funny because like I'm watching this weird history video on YouTube about the Spanish flu pandemic, and they're showing like pictures. I didn't even know they were doing this at the time. But like a baseball games being played in the major leagues, and people wearing everybody on the field with masks on them. So when they were first having the problem, like, why don't we just make all the players wear masks? Like you can wear a mask playing baseball. I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Some guys were.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
I think they're all these leagues are they're hell bent on playing their seasons out. So we'll see. We shall see.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if they can open an amusement park, a theme park that's Disney World, I guess I suppose they could find ways to get these seasons played.
Yeah.
I heard they're going to CGI fans of the NFL games. Which makes sense because you play Madden and the fans react to everything going on there, and it looks real at this point. It looks pretty much freaking real. And it's good about the NFL. You don't see, I mean, think about when you watch a football game, you don't see the fans unless they want you to. Because the camera's down on the field level. So
yeah, that's true.
They can almost pre-script, not script, but you know what I mean. They can know when they're gonna pan to the field, to the sidelines and stuff. So anyway, we're out of here. Thanks for joining us. I'm not sure. We're gonna try to get back on schedule here, but there's like so little like going on that I'm not gonna make any promises. But we're gonna do one at least every other week.
Yeah, I mean, I could give you a review on the first 6 seasons of Wicked Tuna on Disney Plus. I've been watching a lot of Wicked Tuna.
Yeah, if you want any Johnny's review, we could always do that. We're supposed to be cooking with Johnny show going. That got pushed back right into COVID, and there went that.
Oh yeah.
But sooner or later, although I don't know if we got Johnny a camera, I guess he could. If you really wanted him and Sarah could do a show or something, I'm sure Sarah would love that.
Oh, I'm sure she would.
Yep. You guys were watching. You have the outside projection camera, right? Is that what you were doing last week?
Yeah. We've watched a couple movies. You
should have a Mulan watch party.
Yeah. Space everybody out.
Yeah. And I can film a little bit. I can vlog a little bit from there.
Yeah.
Little things to keep things going on the channel because, with all the stuff that's going on with me right now, I'm a little bit busy and with not a whole lot of information going on. Updates and news. This podcast has been kind of slow, but we'll get creative. We'll have to start doing top 5 this and top 10 clickbait that and top 5, something. Things that people have done 1,000 times over, but it's always fun to revisit. Anyway, thanks for listening, guys. iTunes, Spotify, anywhere you get podcasts, we are generally available. Please, subscribe, share, and obviously, if you're watching us on YouTube or check out our Facebook page. Sarah does a good job keeping up with that. And we'll see you next time.